Hey guys, this is GamerCow. We are playing Touhou, Genius of Severus, and last time we made it through hell. This time we're going to go back through hell and kill everything in sight. There's also at least one room that we did not enter before, which actually has an item I want just in the room itself, so we need to go and do that too. So I actually kind of forgot. There's one thing I was going to do with this project which I forgot to do until like now basically, and that was going to be changing the pictures on the side based on the characters that we have, and or maybe some like prominent characters in the party when we have all the actual characters. So I kind of forgot to do that, but luckily we have had 4 new characters since I actually changed the pictures, so have some pictures of the 4 characters, I guess, because they're kind of cute. I guess the Alice one could have probably been a bit closer in, but I really like that Alice picture, so I had to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna go kill some dudes, and I shall return when we have some interesting stuff. So yeah. Oh, well, I guess that's the first interesting thing right there, is that we have a power-up for everyone right from the word go. Whilst I'm actually thinking about that, one thing that I've said, experience does not get transferred between... Not transferred, but experience doesn't get taken up by characters who are not in your party, but what does get taken up is the power. But it gets taken up at a reduced rate, so essentially the characters which are in your background that aren't, you know, commander, or they're in the outfield is what they call it, though they won't get all the same benefits, but they do still get some benefits, so don't ignore them entirely is what I'm trying to say, in a very long-winded way. Anyway, more killing. And it looks like Remu has another level up thanks to the bonus experience fundamental assault. So that's good, level 12, getting some decent experience there. Oh hey, and we actually get an item from these guys too, and a couple of level ups, very nice. Oh yes, haha, this may actually come into play at some point. Salkia's MP is not entirely useless, don't believe a word they say. So Private Square is one of the potentially most broken attacks in the game, at least that you can get during normal play, and Patchouli starts getting some new skills to explain as well, which is very good. And of course we have this rather odd name for the lance here as well. But let's go explore that first. So this, as I think I said before, the lances tend to have multi-strike or piercing type effects, like multi-target style effects. And this one, yeah, 16% of the time you use it, it will multi-strike, so it will hit more than once. I think that means it hits more than once in the same attack, so like your one attack would do 2 hits, and it might not hit the same enemy. I think that's how it works, or it could just be that you attack twice, like separate attacks. I'd have to actually use it to try that, because I'll be honest, I've never used it. I am not a fan of lances in the slightest, so there you go. In terms of skills though, we have Private Square, which costs a boatload of stuff, like absolutely ridiculous cost for this right now. Basically all of Salkia's MP, if not more than what she actually has. I didn't really check too hard. Ridiculous cooldown as well, but you'd kind of expect that. It also takes 2 bombs, but it stops everybody except Salkia from acting for the next 2 turns. If you max out the time stop tree, then it will give you 3 turns instead. Salkia is free to use any non-bomb skills during that time. So basically, this is a cheese method, and this could be used to easily manipulate enemies in that do certain attacks in certain turns as well. The catch is that Sakuya always goes last, which you can get around. There is a combo for that, so we'll probably be using that at some point, but for now just bear that in mind. I don't really want to equip it just now because of the cost. It actually does cost more MP than Sakuya actually has, so that's wonderful. But Patchouli also got something very interesting. So Patchouli got Hotspot Vulcan. So she will get one of these for all of the core elements. Basically, Patchouli gets a field spell that amplifies the power of one element for a few turns. It lasts for a decent while actually, and it is a very powerful effect. It adds to the land damage that the skills would normally get, and I think it actually raises the land a little bit too. Given that Patchouli has land influence as one of her growth tree skills, so her attacks affect the land more than others. This can be very, very strong and can add a lot to your team's damage if you use one particular element. It is a field spell, so it can be overwritten, and it does take a bomb, but it can be engineered to have 0 cooldown, so it doesn't take up, say, you know, your bomb skill. So you could use Hotspot Vulcan, and then next turn you could use Agni Radiance or whatever. Agni Shine. Agni Radiance is later on, I think. Yeah, the easy normal version was Agni Shine. So yeah, you could engineer it so that you could cast that after other stuff. So very powerful skills for very select situations. Don't ignore them, but they're, you know, we'll see them used later, basically. And we have level ups for the rest of the crew here, so that is always good. So Sana just getting some extra stats, a lot of extra stats actually. That's pretty good. Marissa will get her electric spell card next level, I believe. And Alice gets a field spell of her own. So Doll's Fanlax, let's take a quick look at that. So I haven't actually explained these dolls here, I guess, so we can do that. But first off, the Fanlax, it's a field spell that increases your shield power. I don't know if that also increases the chance of the shield activating. It probably does, but it definitely increases the strength of the defenses that your shields give when they activate. So that is pretty nice. Decent for a non-spell skill, but usually Alice won't have time to cast it, so that's kind of a problem. And then these don't actually affect your party at all, but they affect Alice for the turn. So basically she can cut magic or physical damage that she would take for the turn down to just 10%, which is pretty ridiculous when you think about it. However, again, she usually won't have time to cast these because she's usually covering your allies, which is a bit more important. Still, if you use Horaidol before this and make sure that she's the target of most attacks, it can be alright. Just not usually. I would rather be using the puppet shields, even if it's just a marionette, because that way her shield will activate more often. Because if you remember from the growth trees, Alice's shields don't activate very often unless they don't activate as often as they could unless you are covering allies. So that is something to bear in mind. One more rock from these enemies, not too bad. More materials to craft with. And there's another level up for Alice. So you can see already at only level 7 she has a lot of HP, and she doesn't have any of her growth tree for that yet either. So that's pretty great. Definitely a good rock for the party to fall back on. And there's another power level for everyone, so good stuff. One thing I didn't really say there, I guess I can keep it in. You may have seen that the first of those giants didn't actually have the ability to cast Skewer anymore, insufficient MP. That's because his MP kind of got drained by my attacks. So when you are draining MP, you know, recovering it with your siphon stuff, you actually do take MP from the enemies and add it to your own. It's not just a case of, oh, you just get bonus MP. No, you are literally stealing their MP. Just in case it wasn't obvious. Oh, fantastic, we actually got the amulet from these guys too. So I was actually looking for this because it's a very good complement to one of the items that we already have. So the item we get here is the Heatwave amulet. So if you remember from stage 3, we actually got a shower amulet for Patchouli over here. So she increases the water damage but and water resistance, but is weaker against fire. The Heatwave amulet, as you would probably imagine, is the fire equivalent of this. Now if you put two of these on at the same time, they still give you a 50% resistance to each of the respective elements, but they still give you the 10% enhanced for both stats. So especially fire now, we have 30% enhanced for that, so that's really good. Patchouli's fire skills are really powerful right now, but she also has the 10% water buff without lowering her resistance to either element, which is really quite strong when you think about it. And some more level ups. Alice once again, because she's still getting 50% more experience here. But of course Sagia and Patchouli also get a level up. So Arctic Chill, don't really need to show it off, but I guess we will because Alice also gets a skill. So Arctic Chill is pretty much the water equivalent for Hotspot Vulcan. We should, I think, get one of these every level. I think it's the lightning one next and then Earth. It usually goes that way with her skills. And then for Alice we got Spectrum Mystery, which is actually a pretty cool skill. So this affects all of your party no matter what type of formation you're running, and you choose one of the core elements, and if an attack of that type is used during the turn which you cast this, you block it with your shield. It works irrespective of what your shield can block, I believe. So even if your shield can't block Earth, then you'll still block Earth with this if you choose to. So it's a pretty versatile skill, I quite like it. But it's obviously only really good in certain fights where you know, oh, this enemy is going to use fire skills all the time, etc. It's not a general use skill, but it's still pretty good. I like it. And Reimu gets yet another level up due to her Melon Sword. So that Melon Sword is definitely coming into play here. She's getting levels a reasonable bit quicker than the other characters, but she won't be using it for too much longer, so don't worry, she won't get overpowered. Well, yeah. So the skill that she got here, Fancy Seal Blink, is actually weaker than the regular Fantasy Seal. The difference here, and in fact it takes more MP as well, but the difference here is that it has a much lower cooldown. So you can make this castable every turn. Pretty sure it does less damage though, like overall, because I mean the strength of it is lower. There are some skills later on that actually kind of defy this, which is why I say it the way I do, but it's not really great. But it's there if you want to use it, I guess. And my controller just disconnected, so heck yeah. One sec. Okay, idiot me forgot to put the recording back on once I'd done one fight, but it didn't level up Raymu, so whatever. You get to see this level twice, whatever. I did get a rock from the fight, however, from fighting the devil axe wielding things, so I have one extra rock than what has been shown on camera. Oh well, who cares, right? And there are levels for Sana and Marissa, so level 13, and as I said, Stardust Reverie, the final one of Marissa's Stardust Bomb spells for now, and it is a fairly powerful one, but it only targets a column, so depends on the area. See, the problem with these, for me, is that they just don't quite hit the right areas, you know? Mad Blizzard is kinda cool, but also kind of weak because it hits such a large area, but Passion Blaze doesn't hit enough and isn't strong enough to justify the bomb cost. Really, Stardust Reverie, although it's strong, it's not all that common to hit too many enemies with it, so I don't know, they don't really appeal to me, but they are kinda cool. And I suppose here you could probably hit these two, which would be okay, but only hitting two at a time just seems a bit weak to me. But maybe that's just me. And even more levels for Alice. So level 9 now, 77 HP. Kinda ridiculous. And you know what, whilst we're here, we didn't take on the mid-boss last time, so let's go on and take on the mid-boss. It is Kisume. And Kisume is kinda cool. She shows off a decent mechanic here. And, well, not much more to say. I think she's weak against light, but I don't remember. Honestly, I never really paid too much attention to weakness stuff, so we'll just experiment with a bunch of stuff here. Pretty sure she'd not be weak to fire, but we'll just try some stuff. So she's obviously not water weak. She apparently could dodge stuff there. Lightning is what we need to use. Okay, and yes, there is her mechanic. So she stores power, and storing power is a very bad thing to be afflicted by on your side. So essentially what she does is she will charge up an attack and then unleash a really powerful strike on the next turn. A fair few bosses do this where they store up one move and then just blast you to all hell in the next move, and it's kind of scary. So yeah, that's a thing that can happen. So maybe she'll miss, that would be nice. Or maybe she'll just destroy my entire party, who knows. Also, that animation just didn't go off, and rip Patchy. So yeah, as you can see, basically this is what she does. Kisume, she charges up a move and then she blasts you with said move. Not too hard to deal with, but still kind of irritating, if I'm being honest. We'll give a physical attack buff and go from there. So, there was, since we basically described the whole fight from here, there was a fun thing that we used to do on my streams and whatnot, where if Patchy died, you had to take a shot. I haven't actually really done anything with that since then, but it was funny at the time, and yeah, there's that. So she doesn't just have a physical move, she also does have a magic attack. That's also kind of scary, but she should be dead before she gets off, so there we go. Sakuya getting... oh no, she didn't! Ah, wow, okay. Yeah, she kind of did that. But you know what, it's fine, because Sakuya can not quite finish her off. Apparently Sonny with a dinky little knife is enough to finish her off. But there you go, 50 extra power, some good experience off of that, and I think Alice is finally at the on par level now, because I think she's finally getting normal experience, which is good. But anyway, our prizes for that, we get gold, which is a pretty rare crafting material, also a very valuable one as you would expect. There's another enemy up here, which is kind of annoying, but we also get some bamboo. So the prize really is gold. Gold is a pretty worthwhile prize, it's actually quite a powerful thing to have, so I'm not too against that, to be honest. Alright, as it turns out, that is everything in the stage. I was convinced I was missing something, but it appears in a later stage, so heck yeah, time wasting. So yeah, I guess as a result, well, this has been GamerCow. We've played the Genius of Savros, going through all of the enemies in the Hell of Blazing Fires, and next time, well, let's see if we can find Satori, right? Gotta do some sort of progress, right? Take care, guys.